Hi guys, this is Sadik here on my channel Filmactico Reviews, and we also welcome Farad to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us, Farad.
Thank you, Sadik, for having me, and welcome to my channel also. This video is also going to go on my channel, Popcorn Reviews with a double S. So, welcome on my channel as well.
Thank you so much. So, guys, it has been quite a long time that we haven't been that much active on our channel, but we hope to be regular from now on. And today we'll discuss on a very, you can say, prominent and probably one of the most successful movies that Pakistan has produced this year, and not only Pakistan but India also. That is Chhello show. So these are the two movies, and potentially these are the two movies that have been sent by both of these respective countries from their end for Oscar nominations. And Farad, you wanted to say something?
I was saying that the Pakistani film is Joyland. I think we missed the name. So,
Yeah.
it's Joyland from Pakistan and Chhello Show or the
Eh,
Last Film Show from India. They are
uh,
the Oscar nominees for each country, in the at the Academy Awards this year, and it's the final 15 is going to be announced in December 21st, and
yes.
I think the final five will be probably in
Yeah.
third week,
Absolutely.
if I'm not wrong.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
so first, Sadiq, tell me how many people are online? How many are
Yeah.
watching us?
So for now, only MKB Films is online with us, and thank you so much, MKB Films. And MKB
One
Films has
more people
commented
in.
that, yeah, hopefully, yeah, if they can join in. And thank you so much, MKB, for joining us. And MKB Films has commented that he's eagerly waiting for Molajat also. And yes, uh, and I've seen Molajat, and I totally agree that it's an excellent film. And I would be very happy if people from all over the world, if they haven't watched that movie, they should watch it. It's an outstanding movie. And yes, I do hope that Joyland also releases in India. It's an excellent film. So yes, so I think we should start on now, and we should start our analysis on Joyland. So coming from my end, I mean, being a Pakistani, I loved it, and I should say that regarding Joyland, I just want to clear up misconception that has been spread across social media, specifically in Pakistan, and it's very unfortunate that being a Pakistani film, people without watching it, they are saying that it's a film on homosexuality, it's promoting homosexuality, it's promoting not only homosexuality, but it's endorsing LGBTQ. But sorry to say, if you haven't watched the film, please don't comment like this. And I don't want to use the word, and I won't be using the word, but please don't use bull crap words. Please refrain
And
from that.
I second
Yeah.
what Sadiq is saying because I've also watched the film. Go on, Sadiq. Sorry, I cut.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually, I don't get raged or angry at people's comments or reviews, but to be honest, when you just say your comments and provide your views without any facts, without any having any idea of what you are saying, and you damage the reputation and whatever it is, maybe this the comments, that useless, brainless comment that the people have provided for Joyland, it may work for the film. It may be good as from a negative marketing perspective, but when without watching anything, without having an idea, without even reading the synopsis of the film, you are commenting anything. So that's bad. Now coming back to the film, Joyland, I would just summarize the film that it's not only a movie about, homosexuality. It actually, shoots the bullet on the patriarchy and misogyny. These two things and these two words have been very common now in the last 3 4 years, thanks to social media. Even I didn't knew that these words existed, but when we go deep into these words and go through the crux of the meanings of these words, then we realize that how much deep rooted they are, not only in Pakistan but probably the entire subcontinent. So
All over.
Joyland, yeah, Joyland mainly focuses on that element. So the film is not only about homosexuality, but the context is there. And to coming back to the film, so the characters mainly, if I talk about them, the film mainly focuses on six main characters. The first one is, what we call the grandfather or the father of the two guys. That is Ali Junejo and Samir. I forgot the name of the guy. The second guy.
Sohail Samir.
He Sohail Samir, sorry. Yeah, Sohail Samir, he's the brother of Ali Junejo, and the both of these brothers are married to two girls. That is Ali Junejo, who's married to Rasti Faruqi, and Sohail Samir, he's married to Sarvat Gilani. So they, all of them, including the father, they are living in that home, And the sixth character, sorry, you were saying something.
I'm saying that before we proceed with this discussion, I think this is going into the spoiler territory. So if you haven't
Okay.
watched the film,
Yeah, yeah.
this
No,
is
no, I
a
would, yeah,
timely discussion.
yeah, yeah. So I would just summarize the characters. I just wanted to summarize the character. I won't go down deep to the storyline or synopsis. So the sixth character is Sania Saeed, which is associated or just has a kinship with the family. So she just visits them, and has a good relationship with them. So she's one of them. And the seventh character, which is not directly connected with the family, but it's a very important component of the film, is the homosexual character played by Alina Khan. So she is the one who's in a relationship with Ali Junaid. So as of now, I'll just summarize this part, and I won't go further, because just give you one line that Ali Junejo and Alina Khan, the character, they are in a relationship with each other. So this forms the total crux of the character. So now coming back to Farad.
So I would
Yeah,
also like to
Farad, you
say
want to
that
say something?
yeah, I would like to say a lot, many things about Joyland, because even I have watched
Sure.
it, and I was absolutely bowled by it. My first reaction was the jaw dropping reaction. It was shocking. Now coming
Yeah.
back to Joyland, I mean, first thing, it is really sad with the treatment that it is getting in the country, that should be proud of such a film. Joyland is one film that probably is the film of the year for me, one of the films of the year, and it just really left a bad taste when I got to know that it's banned. It's still banned in the Punjab section, Sadiq. Is that right? It's still banned, right, in the Punjab
Yes, it is
sections,
unfortunate. Yeah, yeah, it is
Punjab district.
unfortunately. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, it's rather unfortunate, and
yeah.
it just talks so much about, if some filmmakers trying to show you a mirror, you're trying to break that mirror and saying, no, we are not like this. This mirror is wrong. How can a mirror be wrong? So
Yeah.
I think that is something
True.
that I did not like about the controversy that was going on. However, I really like the fact that it finally did get released in Pakistan, and it wouldn't be wrong if I say it is a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. Yes, there are not many Pakistani films that are close to this level of filmmaking. But at the same time, if you see Joyland is far above even in the world circuit. In the world also, there are not many films that are made at this level, at this style of filmmaking. And I think that is where Joyland scores. As you rightly said, it is about the fact that the prevalent patriarchy that is there in our society. I think that is something that Joyland touches upon. I think, Sadik, let's do a spoiler review of Joyland. We can give instances. We may not reveal all the details, but let's do a spoiler discussion. I think it will be a interesting discussion. Many people would want to know about what Joyland stands for, and it will clear the norm that it is not about the LGBTQ community or homosexuality. That
Yeah.
is just an element in the film. It is not, and I don't blame them also. I also went in with that notion that it is probably a film which is delving into the relationship between Heather and Alina, the character of Heather and Biba, played by Ali Junejo and Alina Khan. So, in fact, it is not that. We actually, it is a tactful and searing commentary on the patriarchy that is prevalent, and why we are saying it repeatedly, because patriarchy is prevalent in you, me, and all everyone that where we've been brought up in that environment. And the levels of patriarchy might be different in each individual. Probably you and me are a little more liberal, little more addressing to the fact that yeah, it is like but there'll be many who are not like that, and we see these different levels in the characters that are there in Joyland. The highest being, I think, in the brother, more than the grandfather. Also, the brother, paid by Sohail Samir, and then it is the grandfather, and the lowest is
Yeah.
Heather. Heather is timid kind of a boy, sensitive, very affable. But there is a level of patriarchy in him as well.
Yeah.
Sadiq, what do you have to say about that?
Yes, yes. The patriarchy is inherited in him, and I think the main reason for being the patriarchy is if you see the film from the very beginning, because if you know Heather was jobless in the very beginning, at the start of the film, and if we see he's dependent on the income of Rasti Faruqi, her wife, and also he's living in a joint family. So obviously they come from the lower middle class background, and they are if you see households in India and Pakistan, they are usually, if they are living in a joint family, and if they come from a lower middle class background, so they are dependent on the income of each other. So this is why they have to cooperate with each other. And specifically, if a man, if he is not earning and if he's dependent on his wife, so it does have a slight impact on his self-esteem, which was evident on Ali Jonazo. And apart from that, being not highly educated, not being highly skilled, so it did put slight dent on his self-esteem, and it was evident throughout the film. Then he suddenly got a job, but that job was also being a background dancer behind a homosexual, which is Alina Khan. He was, she was the one who was leading that, dancing and all stuff. So he was there, and he was not even skilled enough for that particular job, and he knew that, but he still tried hard and was earning. But again, the background dancer job is not regarded as a good job in Pakistan and specifically in Punjab, which they are doing, because this is according to them, it's not the good the people that come from good families, they don't go to watch to those shows. It's only the people from the lower strata of the society or the people of not so good character, they go there. So obviously it created further dent on his self-esteem that he's getting such low paid and low character, low class jobs, whatever it was. So this was also there, and it was also evident at the start of the film when you see that when he used to slaughter a goat, he's not able to do that, and it's wife that who's able to slaughter that goat, which his father expected that he'll do, but he wouldn't do. So again, there were some tasks that were some manly tasks, so-called manly tasks, which the society, the subcontinent society, thinks that only males should do, but he was not doing that. So this is why there was a patriarchy, inherent in them, that I'm not doing manly tasks, so I should be supporting all these things. Obviously, when you have low self-esteem, when you are not independent enough, so you will have to support the majority of the people when you're not confident enough. So this is why there was patriarchy inherent in.
And also, if you see, there
That's
was
what
this
that was the main reason.
one beautiful scene. Also, there was this, Adik. I think it was in the second hour between Alina and Ali, and there that character of they were discussing about Alina was saying that she wants to have that sex change operation that is there, and that is when I think Ali says that just be the way you are. I don't want you to change. Now that can be interpreted in two ways, that he likes the person the way the character Biba, which is played by Alina, is. On the other hand, he's going against her free will. It is not as if she was doing it for him, she was doing it for herself. It was
Oh,
her
herself.
dream to do. Yeah. So I don't think so. That is the patriarchy angle that was also there, in the character of Heather, played by Ali, that in
Mm.
those timid words that he said, don't change. And that is the only amount of confidence that he had to say it and upfront in those timid words that are there. That was another character. Also, I felt the character of Heather was pretty interesting in terms of his own sexuality. I felt that at no point did was it ruled out that so the concept of masculinity, basically, I think that was again crushed to bits, with the character of Heather, simply because the character of Heather and Mumtaz, Heather, and Biba, these three characters went hand in hand. So the fulcrum was the character of Heather. He had a relationship with spoilers with Biba, as well as he was the husband of Mumtaz. Now he was not able to satisfy Mumtaz, but at the same time, he wanted to be also penetrated by Biba. Lack of a better word, and I think was the sexuality angle for the character of Heather as well, and which brings me to the character Mumtaz. I think that was one character that was dealt with such sensitivity, such a delicate character that was there. She was that rebellious kind. She was that. She had that fire in her, and she wanted to work. But in the element of patriarchy, she just goes crumbling, and just goes in the downward spiral that was there. And this is the genius of, I think, the director as well as the writer, Saim Sadiq. Because
Saim Sadiq.
through
Saim
the
Sadiq.
entire first half, I think her character, the character of Mumtaz that was there, she was literally slipping under the radar. She was not the focus of the film. She was not the focus of the film, which means that the audience also was slipping, making her slip under the radar, not realizing for the fact that she is slowly getting depressed. And that was intentionally done by the director and the writer, and that was a
True.
work of a genius. Because when the ultimate downfall of that character happens, when she commits suicide. Spoilers. When she commits suicide, that is when it comes as a shock to you that what happened suddenly. It was not sudden. It was
Yeah.
not sudden at all. It was a slow build up, and let's face it, like there have been so many films, which have dealt with the sexuality of a man, you can say, and dealt it as a comedy. It's like, if men are having fun, it's like, oh my god, it's like a comedy. They're bound to have fun, why not? But when there's a same topic on a woman, okay, that's when the society gets up. I think that is one sign of patriarchy as well. That when there are topics of sexuality concerned for women, I think that is when the society takes objection to, and I think that is something that is absolutely ridiculously wrong. What is your take on that, Sadiq? The character Mumtaz and the personality of a character, basically.
Personality of the character of Mumtaz. If you see that, there was some, well, from a Pakistani perspective, there were some question marks on that. But as an individual, if you see, an individual has a right towards her sexual preferences and the type of individual that she wants to have intimacy and all. I mean, if you see in that scene when I think she was, when they were going into that park, that so-called park called Joyland, when Rasti Faruqi, she, suddenly hits a man, and that man to her is she's attracted to that random man. I mean, he mistakenly,
He just
hits
bumped
her,
into each
and
other.
she's probably attracted to him. So this was evident that maybe she's not, directly satisfied from her husband, that is Ali Junejo. So there was something evident there, and I think this is natural. We do get attracted, we do have infatuation from the opposite sex, and it's normal. You will always do, because sex and food, they are inherent in us. We are not always, we don't always like the same food every day. We want a change. So this is why same is applied for sex. Even though we are married and we are expected to be attracted to that same individual throughout our lives, but it's not possible. There is infatuation, and you will be attracted to him or her, whatever it is.
And that said, the character of Ali was very likable also, and they were like best of friends, more than husband and wife. They were best of friends that were there. So I think
I know.
that is another layer to the story. Continue, Sadik. Sorry, I cut.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So I do agree on that, and this is why, if you see, that was nothing wrong. And you see, if you've observed, on one hand, Ali Junejo, that is the husband, the guy who played the main character, who was attracted to Alina Khan, who he was also attracted, and he also had an affair and wanted to have an affair with that homosexual. On the other hand, Rasti Faruqi, her wife, she was also wanting or wanted to have an affair, or was interested in someone else, not specifically a character, but other guys also. And it's normal, I mean, if we see that we humans, we are slaves of our biology. It's not about a character, that if one guy is married to a lady, or if one lady is married to a guy, he or she will be attracted to each other for the rest of the life, because they are not biologically bound to each other. They are not, come from the same family and have the same respect for each other. This is why divorces happens. This is why they are, separations happen. Obviously, You are bound by society, but you're not bound by biology. And it's the biology, it's the nature that you have to respect, not the society. So this is why whatever they were doing naturally. So people need to have that, open mind and perceive this, not by their own preconceived notions. This is the problem. This is why, such amazing films don't work and are not respected in Pakistan. I mean, conservative countries like Pakistan. And if you compare them with, global movies like Pedro Almodovar makes, and he's been making these movies for the 20, 30 years now, last 30, 40 years maybe, and he's making such amazing gems. And not only Pedro Almodovar from Spain, but many other directors from Germany, from France, they have touched these characters. I mean, storylines way years ahead. But I'm glad that a director like Saim Sadiq or a producer like Sarmat Koset had the guts to explore these, important characters and important storylines. So it's really good. And MKB Films has a question, though it's not, in the context of Joyland, but just is asking, like, just like Chhello show is has been selected. So is Chhello show is official the official entry for Oscars, or is RRR in also contention? So I wanted to ask you, Farad. So has
So
the selection been made?
I'll clear that doubt. Yes, so I'll clear. So in the foreign language category, which is generally the category for the Academy Awards for films around the world, in that RRR was not sent. It was Chhello show that was sent, which is the Gujarati film. On the other hand, RRR was, they have applied in the general category, so to say. When I say the general category, it is some of the films from Hollywood that will be competing in that category. Like last year, it was, what was it last year? I don't remember. The many West Side Story or something like that. Coda, I think last year. So in that category, RRR has applied individually. And if RRR happens to get into the general category, it is going to be a red face for the jury who has zeroed upon Chhello show, because I think we'll get to Chhello show in a bit, but let's complete our discussion on Joyland first. Uh,
Yeah.
so so I hope I've cleared the doubt. In the foreign language category, it is Chhello show that is sent as India's nomination. RRR has gone separate route. They have gone separate route in the general category.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. So yeah, coming back to Joyland, and one more thing I wanted to raise on that film. If you we'll discuss on the starting point. This is why I'm saying that the film is based more on patriarchy and misogyny rather than being on homosexuality. Because homosexuality, the aspect of homosexuality was not more than 5 or 10% of the film. 90% of the film focused on patriarchy and specifically patriarchy. I don't want to use the word misogyny there because the film was not that misogynistic, but yes, patriarchy was there because the film was viewed from the dominance of males. I mean, males are the important aspects of the film, and it's evidently seen when Sarvat Gilani, who's expecting a child, and she is also expecting that the child will be a male, because according to the previous test, she was told that the baby that she will deliver will be a boy, and she already has three daughters. So she has three daughters, and she is expecting that there will be a fourth child. And at the start of the film, when her water breaks out, so she tells Ali Junejo that please, get me on your bike so that we can, I'm on your motorcycle so that we can go to the hospital. And she, informs in advance to her three daughters that we will be coming back with your probably we'll be coming back with your brother. And they're like, okay. When they go there and when they see that Sarvat has delivered the fourth child is not a son, but yet again it's a daughter. So she's even disappointed when she's laying down on that hospital bed. She was expecting a son and not a daughter. But again, so this is reflected there that even the father, I mean, Sohail Samir, who's Sabat Gilani's husband, and he was also expecting that to have a son. But again, yet again, they have a, daughter, and they are very disappointed. So it really shows the mentality, the patriarchal mentality, which is there not only in Pakistan, not only India, but I think Asia as a whole, because we are still, quite a male dominant and quite a patriarchal society. and which is quite unfortunate. So this was also evident there, and it was evident throughout the film that how they, endorse masculinity and how they are only focused on that. And I also wanted to point out one more thing, which I think you and me, Farad, were discussing also, or maybe I was trying to, give you an example. I won't disclose the name of that random individual, but I was seeing a Facebook post when a guy who hasn't watched the movie Joyland, and he was discussing his views. He was giving his views that, God forbid, if we endorse homosexuality, if we promote LGBTQ, and if everyone becomes homosexual, if everyone becomes LGBTQ, and if straight guys or straight girls are over from this earth, so the planet will be doomed. The planet will be vanished. That there will be no life on planet. I mean, god damn you guy, there are more than 1 trillion species on the face of this earth, and humanity forms just 0.21%, 0.01% of the entire species. So even if humans are wiped out, which I do hope one day we are wiped out, so if we do get wiped out, it won't have enough impact on this planet, because this planet is in existence for more than billions of years, and it won't have any impact if we do anything, because we are insignificant. The planet Earth itself is just a pale blue dot in the entire universe, and we are nothing more than a peck of dust. I won't even call myself a dust. We are non-existent. So if these people, they think that we form the crux of the society and we are the most important species on this earth, so let it be. If they want, then what? But this won't change the fact that you are insignificant. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. So if you want to
And
watch, yeah, you were saying something.
yeah, I'm also want to add one thing that I have also heard comments, that, LGBT and homosexuality, that is a concept of the West. It come from there. It's not. Clearly not. Clearly, you do not know anything about the mythology of the land that you reside in. It's absolutely ridiculous. At the end of the day, it is love, whether it is a man and a man and a man, a woman and a woman, you know, or third gender, anything, man and a third gender and third. It's all love at the end of the day. Okay. And I think it's about time that these topics, are normalized. I'm not even saying to discuss it, because you know discussion is a mandate. It goes without saying, but it should be normalized also. It should not be reacting as a sin. It's not a sin. It's not at all a sin. It's in your mythology. It's in your head. And
Yeah,
narrow-minded people need to open their minds firstly. Okay.
exactly.
And we might get so much hate for this comment, Sadik, you and me. We don't
Yeah,
care. Sadik doesn't care. I don't care. We stand for that. And it's about time that someone calls it out. And coming to the patriarchy angle also, Sadik, sorry, I'm just interrupting you one more minute.
no problem.
uh, the patriarchy angle that was there is not only limited to the women, it is also related to the men. In the film, it was seen that, the character of the grandfather, which was played by Salman, and, the character of, I think, Saeed, what's the name?
Sania said,
There Sania Saeed, yeah. So Sania Saeed, is his friend, and at a certain age, you require that companionship that is there. And so, and by the way, the character of the grandfather Salman, he's wheelchair bound, okay, and so he needs someone to take care of him. The kids are out, his daughters-in-law are out, and there's nobody to play except for this, lady that is there. However, next morning, when after they just spend the night together, it's not as if they do anything, they just spend the night together. And the son of the woman turns up and says that, my mother is staying with some other man overnight. And, I think that again gave a different dimension to the film, that the patriarchy comes with a different levels of hierarchy as well, and not only limited to a particular sex. It is about every gender. Even males face patriarchy in the different chains of hierarchy that are there in the film. And yeah, Sadik, so you were saying something. This is the point I wanted to just highlight as well.
yeah,
You can
uh,
carry on.
yeah, just adding on to that, I mean, people are just viewing things from their narrow-mindedness and from their small frames, and they don't want to listen to what the other fellow, what the other individual wants to say. And I agree with you, Farad. And I want to correct a word that you said, that mythology. It's not mythology. I would say rather it's history. It's the history of this place. It's the
History
history,
also,
right? Because I was just reading and going through that this homosexuality and
oh,
whatever
why
it
I
is.
say mythology? Because it is in our scriptures, in Kama Sutra. It is
Yeah,
there in that as well. The
yeah,
talk of homosexuality that so-called people are
yeah.
saying, liberal-minded people are saying that it's a concept of the West. Open your minds. It's not. You
No,
clearly do not know anything about it.
yeah, no, even the Kama Sutra, I would say that it's part of Indian history and Indian culture, not even the Indian
It is.
mythology. Because
It
I
is.
think it's the West that says that, it's Indian mythology, but they
Yes.
don't know that it's parts of the Indian history. Because,
Sigmund Freud says that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Because probably these people actually existed, and Khajuraho and actually temples, other we have viewed, and all these, they are already evident there. So it's ingrained in there. And again, coming from the West, in Greek mythology or Greek history, I would rather say, if mythology, whatever it was. So even in the past, if you see, it was always existent. And even in the Mughal period, Mughal Empire, it was there. If you have seen Padmavat, Khilji was attracted to a guy, and the guy was attracted to Khilji. So that was also there.
It was
So these,
implied. It was
it,
implied. It was implied that. Anyway, coming. So Sadiq, you can stick to the film now. You can get back. The discussion
yeah.
can be to the film again.
And now saying, because I think we have talked a lot about Joyland, so I think now we
Oh,
should
just
talk about,
no, no. First, talk about that ending that was there, that scene, which we together, I think, said that it took the Pakistani film industry ahead by 10 years. That scene that was there was, I
but
think,
I don't think it gives a spoiler, because I think it can give a spoiler to that film.
it's okay. We'll say this is spoiler. You can skip the next 2 minutes and watch the video
Exactly.
ahead if you've not watched. So you can just carry on with that.
Actually, it may be it may directly not be a spoiler, because we can just say that. So before the climax, before the film actually ends, there is a scene where they go into the flashback, and Ali Junejo goes to Rasti Farooqi. He goes to meet her, and before they get married, so Rasti said that, I got your photograph from your father and all, and I really like you. And Ali also said that I also like you and all, and they love each other. And Rusty asked that, will I be able to, work, because I want to get employed and work after get married. And he says, yes, yes, you can work and all that stuff. So there was some innocence there, and there was start of a friendship from there. Because even if you
It
see
was
that scene,
shattering, wasn't it? It was shattering.
it was shattering. It was shattering
It
because
was shattering because it came at a point after you knew the outcome of a character.
yeah,
And that is
exactly,
why it was doubly shattering listening to the two talk, that, this is where the relationship had started and this is where it ended. And it was such a heart
yeah,
wrenching scene that was there.
yeah,
I mean, that was a sign. I think that scene, it might seem that, that the scene where she commits suicide, that might seem like a shocker. But
mm,
then when this scene comes, it just adds a completely new dimension to it. And, it's reflective in so many things that we must have done in daily lives also, unknowingly, Sadik,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like,
That's true. That's true. I
so
don't know
it's
if
such
you
a beautiful moment and equally shattering for me.
don't know if we should talk about it, but the reason behind the suicide was also associated with patriarchy. Because
It was,
yeah, because that she was expecting a child, and it was
yeah.
expected, because when they went for the sonography or whatever it is before the delivery. So even the doctor said that she will deliver a boy, and she's also
There,
happy. Yeah,
there was also an angle whether the child was actually of Ali or not. That was
yeah,
another thing that was left
yeah,
unsaid. It's up to your interpretation. No clues given. Because he
exactly,
also, if you see, there's this scene where the character of Heather, is shattered listening to that pregnancy news, but then eventually accepts it, right?
exactly.
So there is implied that it may not be. Is it his? Is it the brother? Is it somebody else's? But then that's not the point of the film. That's not the point of the film, and that is why that is left open, and rightly so. It doesn't matter who the child is. What
Exactly.
matters is the mental health of that character Mumtaz, and that I think was
Yeah.
just to see her crushed, I think just was absolutely shattering, because she was at the center of it, helpless. She was asked to leave a job firstly when Ali did get a job, as you said, of that background dancer. And from there on, it was a spiral downwards for her
Exactly.
character, and unassumingly so, which is the case in reality as well. Any person you see is depressed will not show that he's depressed. There'll be a
Exactly.
smile on his face, but then, you don't know what is inside that person. And, that eventually it just hits you. That's what it
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, and coming to yeah, and probably we have some limited time available now. So I think we now have to switch to Cello show. So now,
is.
so yeah, let's discuss about Chhello show now. So Farad, I'll ask you about Chhello show because I personally haven't watched that film yet, and I hope to watch that film in the future. So now I'll want to have your review and your analysis for Chhello show. So as of now that I know that this film is inspired by, obviously it's not a remake of Cinema Paradiso, which was one of my all-time favorites. And being a movie buff, this should be on the top list
Excellent.
of people that want to watch that, because it shows the dedication or the passion one has as a viewer of cinema, not as a filmmaker but as a viewer who admires art, visual arts. So again, coming back to Chelo show, I would want to ask you about the plot summary and what were your expectation and what you thought about that film. So yeah.
So before that, I would also like to say that, whenever it comes to the Oscar nominations, which are sent from India, we have a habit of, messing it up. It's unfortunate, it is true, as everyone knows that. And it has happened, earlier with the Lunchbox, which was a front runner of lifting the trophy. It was not nominated. There was some film that was sent, The Last Road, I think it was in that year, Gujarati film. Similarly, this year, the craze of RRR was unparalleled. It was unparalleled. The people from the West had gone crazy about RRR. But the film that was eventually selected was the Gujarati film Chhello Show, or The Last Film Show. So there was a controversy, there was a lot of resentment that was there. However, now we have to live with that fact, that, and hope that this film will at least get to the top 15. I think Joyland, by the way, is going to make it to the top 5, if not lift the trophy. I think Joyland is, if it doesn't, then I'm going to question the Academy Awards. However, I do not feel the same about Chillo Show, although I felt it was a lovely film. It was a very personal film. I think it was a story about a young boy who is, growing up in a village of Gujarat, and, his first brush with cinema. Now, Sadiq, if I have to ask you your first brush of cinema, what would it be? Because I actually have recorded a video, on my channel, Popcorn Reviews. I've also written a review of Joyland. You can read that. Sadiq has written a review of Joyland. All everything you'll find on my site, Popcorn Reviews with a double S. So anyway, so your first brush with cinema, what would it be, Sadiq? I'll tell you mine first. My first brush with cinema was, and I don't recall it, but my mother did tell me that, it was my grandmother who had coaxed my mother into, taking me to the films, and I was just about 3 years at that point, and we had gone to watch an animated film, Thumbelina or something. It was, and but I remember this point very distinctly, that, I was told that there'll be lights will be off, there'll be a giant TV screen that will be there, and people will be there watching with you. Then you can eat while watching it, all of that, so that is there. So I think that was my first brush with cinema. What is your first brush with cinema? And then I'll come to the summary.
Yeah, so my first brush with cinema was way back. I'm not sure, but probably either in 91 or 92, because the first film that I watched in cinemas was Terminator 2, starring Arnold,
Oh,
and it was directed by my most favorite director, James Cameron. And speaking of James Cameron, the
Avatar,
yeah, Avatar 2 is coming on December 18, which I'm very, very,
16,
very excited about. He's
16
my
December.
yeah, 16 December. So I'm highly excited about for this film. And 16 December is Avatar, and 18 December is FIFA World Cup final. So that we would be really crazy epic for me. For I love both these things. But again, coming back to Terminator 2, it was released way back in June 1991. So I'm not sure whether I watched that film in 91 or 92, because I do remember that I was either 2 or 3 years old, because
Oh,
my father's brother, my taya, chacha, whatever it is, he was a film buff. He was a big Hollywood film buff. So he took me, and he, took me to many films when I was young, because then his interest maybe deluded or whatever it was. But when I was very young, so he took me to many films. Apart from Terminator 2, we watched Tango and Cash, we watched Assassins, and many other films. But Terminator 2 was my first ever memory. And even though I had watched many other films apart from Terminator 2, and before that, on cassettes, when we had cassettes in Indian cinema, and I was maybe 2 years old, like films like King Uncle, films like Nasib, and
uh-huh.
whatever it. But Terminator 2 was my first ever memory, going to the cinema. And I would say that, and even when I was 2 or 3 years old, you won't believe that all the scenes are still booked into my memory. So I'm damn sure I was 3 years old, not 2 years old, because 2 year old child does not have that intellect level that he can remember all these things.
Unless you're
So
Sadik by this.
yeah, I
Okay.
was like, yeah, that's something else. But yeah, I was quite intellectually stimulated to that film, and I remember everything, and I cried like a child. I can't believe when Arnold was going down into that lava, and he was doing like this, and the child was crying, and even I cried like a 3 year old. So you can believe the impact that
You
film
were
had.
3 years old, Sadik.
Uh,
You didn't cry like a 3-year-old. You were
yeah,
3 years old.
Oh, I mean, even for a 3 year old to understand those emotions there, because that impacted not only children but people of 80 or 90-year old. I mean, even they were quite emotional back then, back the film, and the impact that movie had not only on people in a specific country, but across the globe, and on filmmaking as a whole, because that film had made, because I think a film of Terminator 2 stature has not even been made in this era. I mean, that the film was so way ahead of its time. So yeah, coming back to Chhello show, you were saying
So
something.
everything that you said, if I had to say it to a 5-year-old discovering cinema, it is exactly that. Chhello show
Yeah,
is exactly that. It is about, uh, you know, literally disbanding and assembling a film that is there. The film reel that is there, that old fashioned reel that you would be recalling now. It's satellite. Today's generation will not know what the film projector was, what the film reel looked like, how it was edited out. Basically, everything that you've seen in Cinema Paradiso, although the stories are different, but yeah, it was a personal tale. It did feel personal, although I really have doubts about this film going very far in the Academy Awards, considering that there's no buzz. Not because it's a bad film, it's a very good film as per me. And I can totally understand that many people may not like this film or compare it with Cinema Parody. So these are natural, it's going to happen.
yeah,
However, I feel that this film, there's no buzz about this. There's no buzz in the West. And you need the right kind of buzz, something like Joyland is doing, Joyland is making all the right kind of noises. And that is something that, I feel. So the film is not very long, and it continues, there's a group of bunch of kids that are there, one of whom had expired, days before its theatrical release, and that was rather unfortunate. But it's about this small village. The corresponding village has a cinema hall, so the kids go there. Peddling in that railway tracks, on those railway tracks. They come from humble backgrounds. The parents, one-liners. You get to know the background of why they are in poverty. So all these elements are there, and it has the right kind of emotions. I feel the film does have, although it is slightly fragmented. I would say it was not smooth transitioned. The ending was also a nice little tribute to all the filmmakers, although uh, Could it have been done in a different way? Sure, it could have been done in a different way. But I feel that the filmmaking here is good. Although again, the chances are grim of it making. I'll be pleasantly surprised. Not that I don't want the film to come. Of course, it's representing India, but I would say that when it comes to films, and particularly films, I would say that we shouldn't include the nationality so much, give so much importance to the nationality.
Obviously.
For film is a film, it's a good film or not a good film.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be like India's representation. Why should Pakistan's film come? No.
obviously.
Or
Obviously.
Pakistan's film, why should India's film come? No. It's a
Obviously.
good film is a good film, and that is what if are willing, if you have an open mind, then you will be able to discover so many beautiful films. And
Exactly.
particularly in the foreign film category, I don't think any film will be bad.
Obviously.
Put it out. Let's put it
Obviously.
out. If for people who are calling Chhello show bad, it's not a
Yeah.
bad film, it's a good film.
Obviously
It
not.
may not be as good as something else. It's always relative in the foreign film category. I don't think any film is bad which is sent. And when I say the jury that sends the film, they always mess it up. It's not because they send a bad film. I don't remember, except for I think Eklavya, which was a absolute brain fade. I don't think any bad film has been sent to the Oscars. However, the focus should have been on a film that
Yeah.
has that kind of buzz, whether the producer can support it, can
Yeah.
create that buzz. And
Yeah.
RRR had done it for that. RRR was on your platter and you just let it go. And that was
Exactly.
something that, I mean, even if you compare it RRR with Chillo Show, you would say, oh, Chillo Show is probably better. RRR, many people have not liked it here also. But
Yeah.
that's not the point. The point is that the West has liked it. The voting, as you would know, the nominations are based on the votes of the viewers as well as the jury. It's a combined vote that goes on.
Yeah.
So, and many people who are voting are across the globe, more so in the West.
Yeah.
So, in that regard, I think RRR should have been, if you would ask my personal opinion, it should have been your Oscar entry, and I'm pretty sure it would have made it in the top five. Then it would have probably been like an India Pakistan top five, with both films. And I'm pretty sure Joyland is making it. If RRR had gone, pretty sure RRR would also have been in the top five, especially because of the buzz that is there. Unfortunately, this time I feel, yeah, I don't see it coming home unless I would say there's this general category RRF, it makes it there. Even if it's nominated and doesn't win, then it's going to be a big victory and a big slap to
Yeah.
everyone who's questioning.
This is what one of our subscribers, MKB Films, is also saying that RRR versus Joyland, whoever wins, लेकिन जीतेगा cinema ही. And I agree on that. But
Absolutely. That's the line. That's the line of a cinephile, Jeetega cinema hi,
exactly,
like, and even if Joyland na jeete, even if Joyland doesn't win, even if RRR doesn't win, this applies even to any other film also. If suppose Decision to Leave wins or some other film wins, it's victory for cinema. But at the same time, I would like to say that I really wish that one of the two films, I think more so Joyland, one of the two films, if they can get the Oscar, it'll be a victory for the Indian subcontinent in general.
obviously.
So, and I feel Joyland has that chance this year. Joyland, I think, has that chance. You should just keep the momentum going, And so to keep the momentum going, Sadhvik, you're yawning, sorry. Uh, to keep that, you need to share the videos that we are making. You have to like the video. You have to comment on the comment section, letting us know your opinion on it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family, everyone, and make this video reach somewhere where it creates a level of awareness, and that is why. And Sadik, this is a special combination that we're doing, India Pakistan reviews. I think this segment that is there, if it's going to get good views, are we going to return?
Probably, yes, definitely. Why not? And if it
So
does get, we should do more stuff on that.
Absolutely. So let us know whether you are liking this section. This is an experimental section that is there. Of we'll be probably, if we get good amount of views on this video, then we'd probably be reviewing some other content across the globe as well. It can be any nationality. Films are films for us. We don't really look into nationality or language or anything. It's films are films for us. So yeah, so for that you need to really rile up this video and reach the required number of views. And Sadik is yawning, so I think we can end the video
Sorry, yeah, sorry. So,
unless there are any questions that are there.
yeah, in particular, there are no questions, but actually, me and Farad were obviously deciding from the last few days that we have to make a video, but I wasn't getting some time. But the video was due, and Joyland has been released for quite a lot of time, and
And
we,
I'll also say one thing more, for people who are going to watch this video on my channel, Popcorn Reviews, this video is going to go up uh, tomorrow night. So when you will be watching, it will be nearing 8:30, I think. And so just to let you know that we are recording this video at, it's like 12:50 in the morning, okay,
yeah,
and like
mint,
12:20 for
yeah,
something. So yeah, so we are, that's why I think the reactions are like that. But yeah, so just wanted to put it out there. Hardik,
yeah.
continue.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you guys. Thank you, Farad, for joining us, and thank you
Pleasure.
for specifically MBK Films to you are one of the viewers on this. And when the probably if other viewers are able to watch it, and if the video gets shared and people do provide their views, so I would request them to please watch this film whenever it is available online or OTT. I would be really happy. And if Pakistani people are, specifically in Karachi, the film was released, and probably it will be released in the future abroad also. So I would request people to watch it. And if not only watch it, so at least if you're not able to watch it, if you want to watch it, so at least do one thing, at least promote this film from your end. The least you can do if you are not
Support
able
this
to.
film.
Yeah, at least
Support
support this.
support both films. Support Chhello show also. It's streaming on Netflix now. Support that film. It doesn't take a
Exactly,
minute to recommend a film, or at least watch it and then
exactly,
form your opinion. You may be free not to like it as well. Cinema is a medium that we can say that it may not be same for everyone. Sadik and me like one film, you may not like that film. That's perfectly
exactly,
fine. But at least be open to having a discussion around it. I wouldn't say an argument, a discussion around it without forming any preconceived notions. Particularly, I would say for Joyland, because that film is being trashed by certain section, and that is something that a good film doesn't deserve. Doesn't deserve.
exactly. And same, applies for Chhello show, because Chhello show I haven't watched the film, but I have, because I was making some preconceived notion that it may be, similar to cinema parody show. But obviously, I haven't watched the film, so I can't comment on that. And even
No, it's a
Farad,
different story.
yeah, even Farad was saying that it's not a remake; it's slightly inspired, but the outlook of the film and the film as a whole is very different. And if the film has been sent for the Oscar, so there is a reason why there has been sent. Maybe RRR was much hyped. Maybe RRR was better cinematically, but when it comes to originality, or not even originality, because both films were original, but when it comes to creating an aspect from more of a critical or artistic point of view, maybe Chhello show was slightly better in this regard, because RRR still falls in that commercial category. So probably
And
Chhello
that
show
is
was.
the and that is the reality now. So if that is the reality, why don't we
Yeah,
back it? Why don't we flaunt it? Yeah, this is the entry of India's
yeah,
entry into the Oscars this year. So we should
yeah,
back it, completely back it and keep that RRR discussion aside. Though we did bring it in this discussion, they'll be pointed out that you guys brought it out again. Yeah, we did get it out for the sake of discussion. But yeah, now that
yeah.
it is sent, it is sent. Let's back.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, this is almost a wrap up from our side. Thank you so much, Parag, for joining us.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching our video. So please, if you can, make a comment and provide a valuable feedback, and do provide our views, your views towards us regarding Joyland and Chelo Show if you watch these films. And apart from that, please provide us suggestions. And
And
I've
subscribe
also,
to the channel. Subscribe to
yeah,
both the channels,
yeah,
Filmactico Reviews as well as Popcorn Reviews
and
with a
Popcorn
double
Reviews.
S. And let us know if you're enjoying this section. We are planning to restart, but we need that
Yeah,
kind of response also. So if
yeah,
we get that kind of response, we can think of getting, making this like a weekly thing, probably,
yeah,
Sadik. Yes.
yeah.
So
Maybe weekly or bi-weekly, we can also
maybe
post like,
bi-weekly, depending on the response. I mean, let's see. If we
yeah,
get a very overwhelming response, we might do it twice a week as well. So let's see.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all on you. It's all on you and how well this video is received. So, Sadik,
Yes,
take it away.
exactly. So
Let's
thank you
end.
so much, guys. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much, Farad. So we'll take a sign off from here. So
Thank
please support us and, if possible, provide us more feedback. So thank you so much and take care.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Good night.